Buy now, pay later loans are getting people in trouble left and right. Today, we're actually going to go finance a Starbucks. And no, I'm not talking about a franchise. I'm not talking about a store. I'm talking about a coffee. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to take Jasmine, we're going to pick up Allie, and we're going to go take out a loan and see how much we can finance a Starbucks coffee for. So why am I going to do that today? Because I've been telling you guys that people finance their groceries for a very long time now and that they cannot keep up with the payment and everything else. So what am I going to do today is I'm going to download the Klarna app and I'm going to actually finance groceries today. Why? I need to know how it is, how the process works. Is this something that's reliable? What does the back end do? How does it look? How does it even work? And so I'm going to teach you guys about it after I've done all this. So at the house, I'm basically signed up for Klarna. And when you do that, you basically add payment methods and you can actually add a credit card. And I tried to type in my American Express first, but that did not work. So I had to type in a Visa card. And so now I'm looking at, if they're telling me that I can put in a Visa card and then I can finance it for a few weeks, that means technically, depending on when my credit card statements opens and closes, I don't have to pay for this Starbucks for months, basically. And this is what we're gonna do today. So I've went in into the app and you can literally finance anything. It literally has every store possible. And how you do this now is basically you go in and you say what you want and then you add, then it generates a card for you, like a Visa card, and that Visa card that is usable at all these different places. And you can literally get a Visa card or whatever this card is for literally anything. And so I was like, okay, let's take out a Starbucks loan. So how am I gonna do this? So I tried to pull out $10 or get a loan for $10. That is not possible because you have to literally finance a minimum amount that was $35. So with the $35, this is my payment structure. So how does that look? So I have to make my first payment at the purchase date. So I paid $9.50. So this was that I had to pay today because I am going to go finance that. So depending on when your credit card statements opens and closes, you have to pay the $9. Then in 2 weeks, I have to pay another $8.75. In 4 weeks, I have to pay another $8.75. In 6 weeks, I have to pay the rest of the $8.75. So that's going to result into $35.75. And how you do that is you basically upload that to your Starbucks account and then you're good to go. So when I'm looking at that, I don't have to pay for most of this stuff till my next credit card or my third credit card payment. And it is absolutely bananas because I'm looking at the third amount due in 48 days and the finance charge is only 75 cents. So this is how it's going to go with financing your groceries on Klarna. So if you haven't, please like and subscribe so I can pay this loan back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how the whole process works afterwards when I actually picked it up to see how good is this actually of a process.
Hey, welcome to Starbucks. What can I order for you?
Hi, can I get a venti PSL, please?
That iced or hot?
Iced.
Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Is this what you ordered? Okay, so now I'm back. And it's funny because I tried to mess around with the app while I was there because I've never done this before. And it wasn't that intuitive because you actually had to put in the numbers and it wasn't that instant. So when they generated my card, my Visa card for Starbucks, it took quite some time for them to then um, implement it into the system and transfer the funds and everything. But I did the credit check. They got me approved for $35. Yes. And this is now the first time that I've ever used this type of service. And I can see how this is an allure to a bunch of people. So they take out a loan for groceries, for a whole bunch of different items. And then you can be like, you know what? I'm just going to take out even more money because I can just pay 30, 60, 90 days later. And since we all know that America is running on payments, not on price, then it's like, huh, okay, this isn't too bad for me because I can make those monthly payments. And let's watch the news basically talk about it.
But I got all of this today for $55.
These days, more and more people are buying it now
It's not just for buying clothes.
and paying for it later. Call it modern day layaway. Hugely helpful for Randus Denny's in Memphis.
It makes it much easier to kind of navigate through life sometimes.
He says he uses it for everything from plane tickets to groceries, then pays it off in a series of fixed, interest-free installments over time.
There's an option to where if something happens, I have an easy access to purchase something.
His company of choice? Klarna, with 26 million users in the U.S. and partnerships this year with retailers like Walmart and with DoorDash. That move, lighting up the internet.
We cannot start going into debt over a burrito.
What do you say to people who are looking at your partnership with DoorDash, for example, and going, that seems ridiculous to use a buy now, pay later for that?
Well, first and foremost, I think all of them are using the credit card when they buy online with DoorDash, so they're already borrowing. The truth is that Klarna doesn't only do credit. 20% of our transactions are debit, where people pay the full amount, so we're much more like a PayPal wallet.
Do you ever worry that any of your customers are going to get in over their head and overextend themselves?
For sure, and as any form of credit, they will, right? But if I look at the actual outcomes, I know our losses are 20, 30% lower than credit cards. So I know the product is healthier, but it's still credit.
Klarna CEO Sebastian Shemiatkowski says customers rarely use buy now, pay later for groceries. Instead, for bigger ticket items, taking advantage of 0% interest during the payback period.
It could be $100 purchase, usually, on average. And it could be a piece of clothing. It could be a ticket to a concert.
Some experts point to concerns over these kinds of short-term loans.
It's convenient for people that don't have a credit card or don't want to pay the high interest fees associated with a credit card, but it also leads to a lot of impulse buying and potentially other risks.
A recent survey shows 41% of buy now, pay later users say they paid late at least once in the past year. That's up from 34% the year before. If people miss a payment, they may have to pay a late fee or be charged interest depending on their plan. Klarna says the vast majority of its customers pay on time.
So we just also watched the news talk about it, and people are loving it. People are financing their groceries. They got to pay $55 today or whatever it was, and then they got to make these payments occurring over weeks on end. So depending on how you're going to and what you're going to finance, you might not even have that down the road where you're still making payments. With a car, most of the time, you still have the car when you take out a loan. So when you finance a car for 70, 80, 90 months, you still have the car and it still provides you some form of transportation. But when you do that with grocery, your groceries are long gone, either in the trash or whatever it is, or eaten. And then you're like, shit, I'm still paying on these groceries from 3 months back. So that literally puts you at a disadvantage because you then push all the money that you're going to make towards a future self. And then your future self is going to be like, oh, we're still dealing with this. And it is just absolutely brutal. So let me know if you've ever used Klarna, because I looked at the user rate and how many more people are using it. And it is astonishing. They're saying that 100 million Americans will use Klarna in 2030. That means that 1 out of 3 Americans will use Klarna and have used Klarna and these Afterpay services. So absolutely crazy. And I'm not one of them. I have to say that I am now one of these people that have used it. Will I use it again? I don't think so, because it was kind of a hassle, and it wasn't that smooth of a process where you can be like, you know what, this was smooth, this was easy, and I'm just gonna do that from now on. And if you are down on your luck, it can be a very, very affordable way to kind of get ahead and push the problem down to your future self, because you're gonna be like, you know what, I don't have money today, but in 90 days, my situation might change. I might get a job, I might do anything else. And when you're thinking about it, when you're unemployed and they're saying it's about 6, 7 months of unemployment, this is a pretty decent tool to then say, you know what, the average is about 6 months. And probably if I'm going to be doing a good job at job searching, I can probably get a job within 4 to 5 months again. And then I will then have to make these payments back again. but at least I kind of got over the hump of, of the no paycheck coming in or anything else, or just supplement my lifestyle with this because with this Afterpay, because when I'm not going to supplement my lifestyle and just rely on the my income with these Afterpays where I have to I have to go in and do that and defer payments and do all that, it's going to be really hard to just live off of unemployment, because we all know unemployment doesn't pay anything. And depending on how the whole situation with your employer worked out, you might not even qualify, because we all know that states do not want you to qualify for any of this. So yeah, this is absolutely crazy to see that you can literally go out and finance a Starbucks coffee for 30 bucks, and you can then make payments for weeks down ends, coming and going just way down the road, and you'll just worry about it. So literally you're using the philosophy that Congress has. Let's just kick the can down the curb and we'll deal with the payments later down the road. So yeah, if this is you, man, you gotta go and figure something out, because this will rack up. Because once you're gonna get caught up on these ones, you probably have another few coming in, and it's constantly gonna stack on you. So first time's not gonna be too bad, but then it's gonna be bigger, 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 and bigger. So what I'm trying to say is that if you're gonna use these on a regular basis, these services, that it can catch up with you. $9 today isn't too bad, but when it's gonna be $9 today, another 10 tomorrow, and all of a sudden you see it stack up, accumulate, and then you're like, oh man, I shouldn't have done this. And I really hope that you're not in the boat of doing that. But there's a lot of people that do it. I see news articles all the time. We saw it that these Klarna people at the finance institution, they're no dummies. And you can use any store. You can go finance your clothes at Hollister. You can go to Sam's Club and finance Sam's Club. You can finance literally everything and anything you want. So yeah, make sure if you're going to take out these loans, you have a strategy in place to pay these loans back. Because man, I don't want you getting stuck with these loans and then being like, oh my gosh, I'm in such a mess, I can't get out of it. And then you have to put in active income where you're going to be hustling 2 3 jobs to then make up for these loans you've taken out. Because you can go finance a DoorDash order, you can go finance all kinds of stuff, and it is just absolutely insanity. This is my advice to you. Don't let your future self be pissed at you today because you're like, oh, let me just get some instant relief and let me just finance it. Deal with it, somehow figure out, get a gig, get a part-time gig, find some, find something like, find something where you can make some money, do, do some gig work, see if you can make some money. I, I think it's kind of dangerous when you think about it. So $35 stacked over 6 weeks. And that costed me 75 cents to do. Did involve a credit check though, but it only did a soft check. So yeah, crazy, crazy. Yeah, let me know if you guys have ever used this, but man, you gotta be aware of all these tricky situations, these downfalls, because man, it can catch up to you. And if you don't make those payments, they're gonna come after you. So yeah, it is the name of the game for Americans. This is what I see with so many Americans, that it's like, oh, let's buy the cars, or let's buy the car on a monthly payment. And this is what you see when you drive down, especially in Florida. I don't see it too much in Las Vegas, or not too much anymore, where they have like 475 or 999 or 199 on the windshield. Those were the monthly payments. And so these were the advertised prices. They didn't have the full price, nothing like that. They just tell you, oh, it's 199 or it's 299 a month. And people are like, I can do 295, but they don't know for how long and what's all included in that. And you might pay the car 3 4 times over during the time of the loan, but people don't ask, what does this actually cost? They say 199. Oh, I can do that. Or $349 a month. Yeah, I can do that for 92-month car loans. Absolutely insanity. You gotta think about it. How can they do that? Who's gonna look over and say, maybe I shouldn't take out a loan for 92 months because all of a sudden I'm in buying a house territory where I could actually buy a house, but no, I can't because my today basically ruined it because my today self, I basically leveraged myself because I wanted to have it easy today rather than take a little bit of pain, figure out my finances, and then move on with my life and just trying to get a house or whatever you're trying to do. But yeah, this is reality for most Americans and it's popular. And I've seen it at Walmart. I've seen it at all kinds of stores where they have that logo, Klarna, Afterpay, Affirm, all these companies, they're popping up and they wouldn't pop up if people wouldn't use them. So this is reality of 2025. And I am one of just financed it. So if you haven't, please like and subscribe. I do need to pay that loan back. So make sure you like and subscribe. And yeah, this is the world we're living in. So people ask me also, why did I buy a Jeep? What is up with a Jeep? It's unreliable, has issues. Why did I buy a Jeep? Why did I buy Jasmine? So why I got Jasmine is because Jasmine's a lifestyle. Jasmine isn't just a car. She's like a hobby, like an expensive hobby, because Jasmine can literally go anywhere. Jasmine went up, I think I took her off road. We went to the desert. We did a whole bunch of fun things with her, and she's a lifestyle. So is reliability an issue? Kinda. My take on Jeeps is either you have a good one or you don't. And so far, Jasmine's been a good girl. Haven't had any problems. Love it. Everything really works well. So yeah. And I drive her on electric most of the time when I putz around town. So I don't even really use the gas engine and it's working out quite nicely for me. And people are like, you should have got something else. Well, this is kind of a lifestyle. And I wanted the Raptor, as I showed you in my other videos before, but this is like way cooler now that I think about it. And I'm kind of glad I got it. And yeah, I probably would get another one. So yeah, and I like how they look too. So yeah, this was it for this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.